this is nothing but the force between two charges. Suppose two point charges are separated by certain distance. Okay, the force between them will be acting on each other that have some relation between the charges and the distance. So that is well explained by Coulomb. Suppose for example, Q1, Q2 are the two charges which are separated in air. Understand? Suppose to understand about the force nature, you can compare this concept with the magnets. When two magnets are separated by certain distance, there is some force between them. Suppose if you take the strong magnet, then the first one, definitely you can observe, you can notice the force between them will increase. Suppose on the other hand, you can increase the strength of the magnet. You can take the strong magnet than first one. So definitely the force between them will increase. So such a way, the force between them will increase by increasing these two magnets. Same manner, if two charges are separated by certain distance, the force between them depends upon first charge as well as second charge, because that is interaction between the two charges. I hope you can understand. So such relation we have taken, the force between these two charges that depends upon first charge as well as second charge, because these two are interacting each other, so that force is existed between them. So this is the case. And also the magnets, if you separate far away, you can notice the force between them will decrease. The same manner, if two charges are separated by far distance, you can notice the force between them will be decreased to some extent. So therefore, F proportional from these concept, from relation 1 and relation 2, F proportional we can say Q1 Q2 by R square. This is Coulomb's inverse square law. When two charges are separated by certain distance, when two point charges are separated by certain distance, the force between them is directly proportional to product of the two charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So you can understand the force between two charges depends upon charges as well as distance. My dear friends, apart from that these two charges and distance, one more important physical quantity, that is the what kind of medium exists between them. That is also very important factor. So what kind of medium exists between them? Suppose air is in between them, the force will be different. Water is in between them, the force is different. Such a way we can find out that we can find the relation if it is air. This is the relation, this is not the equation. So you can take an equation, F is equals to K Q1 Q2 by R square. This is a constant. This constant will be variable from one medium to another medium. Suppose these two charges are separated in A, that K can be taken as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. This value depends upon the what kind of medium in between them. Therefore, this K value can be taken as 4 pi epsilon naught. For practical solving purpose we have taken. So this is 4 pi is a constant, it doesn't tell any nature. So epsilon naught is a nature of the medium which is in between them. So that is called permittivity of air or free space. I think you know that value is 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12 Coulomb square by Newton meter square. I think you can understand. So if two charges are separated by certain distance, the force between them can be taken. This value, epsilon naught value, if you put here, that K value can be, if you put this value here, the K value you can get 10 to the power of 9 if it is in air. Understand? So therefore, this value, if you substitute, the force between two charges are separated. If two charges are separated in air, the force between them can be taken as F is equals to 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Q1 Q2 by R square. What is this permittivity? There is a question, big question from the students. So what is the permittivity? So already I said, the force between two charges depends not only the charges, not only the distance, apart from that, the medium, what medium is in between them. Naturally, suppose air is in between them, the interaction between the charges will be different. Suppose what is in between them? The interaction between the charges will be different. That interaction between the two charges will be decided by the medium. That property is indicated by this. Understand? Numerical indication of the property of the medium. Suppose what is poured here, this value will be different, so that the force between them will be different. So if two charges are separated in a medium, what will happen? We will look into that. Just a moment. Two charges are separated in a medium. These two cases we are comparing. Naturally, already I said, two charges are separated in air, the force will be different. If two charges are separated in a medium, means that medium is in between them, the force will be different. So that case we want to compare. What formula we have to take all the things. Suppose if two charges are separated in A, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square, and if these two charges are separated by completely, the gap is completely filled with a medium whose permittivity is epsilon. So what is meant by epsilon naught and what is meant by epsilon? So look at here, this is a number, a numerical indication how the two charges will be interact each other. This is the numerical indication how two charges interact each other. So this number is different and this number is different. That means the charges interaction in air is different and in medium is different. So that we can take the formula. The force between two charges in a medium we can take 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. Obviously this value is greater than this value. So for understanding, suppose this it may be 2 times of this, 3 times of this, 4 times of this. Like that we will take one relative comparison numerical value. So relative permittivity, it is the ratio of permittivity of free space to permittivity of medium to permittivity of free space. So epsilon is nothing but a medium. That value we can take like this. So then when two charges are completely filled with the medium, we can take F medium can be taken as 1 by 4 pi relative permittivity. So instead of permittivity unknown number, we can take this number. So why? Because this number is very complicated number. So instead of this complicated number, we want to convert it into one comfortable number, that is relative permittivity. This value is 1, 2. How many times it is greater than medium? Such a way we can take it. Therefore, when two charges are separated in a medium, we can take F medium is equals to, please look at here, 1 by relative permittivity. It is a simple number. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, because this value we know, Q1 Q2 by R square. When two charges are separated in a medium, we can take either this formula or this formula, we can take it. If permittivity of medium is given, we can write the formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. If relative permittivity, how many times this value is how many times greater than this, that is called relative permittivity. That value is given. The force between two charges are separated. We can write like this. I hope you can understand. Okay. And apart from that, I would like to give you one important case. I think you know very well. The force between two charges will be depend upon charges, distance as well as medium. In the given case, the topic equivalent distance between equivalent distance of the medium when compared to air. Suppose for example, I will explain what it is. Suppose these two charges are separated in a medium for the distance r. We will write the force F is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. That everyone knows that. If it is in the medium, that force F dash is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R dash square. Are you getting my point? So naturally, what is great in that? What is the difference in that? Nothing. If two charges are separated in A, the force formula is F is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. If these two charges are separated in a medium, that we can call as f dash 1 by 4 pi epsilon, because permittivity of the medium is epsilon, 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 by r dash square. But the problem is that we don't want to write in this format. We want to write this format. How it can be possible? So we can, if these two forces are equal, how it can be possible? So there might be a relation between these two. So if f is equals to f dash, these two values will be same. Therefore 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r dash square. Am I right? Instead of permittivity, I took relative permittivity of free space. These two cancel. Therefore, r square in A is equals to epsilon or r dash square. Therefore, r is equals to relative permittivity is the relation. So, if r dash is the distance in a medium, r is the distance in free space, for getting the same force, the relation between them, r is equals to r in air is equals to r dash in a medium. For getting the same force, same result, this condition they should follow. This is called equivalent distance. If r dash is the medium in r dash is the distance in a medium, if you multiply with that value can be as r, that you can put in the formula. Understand? So I think you can understand this relation. So with help of that we will do some extent. Please note down. We will do some extent. I would like to explain you some three special cases of the subject. So if 2 point charges are separated in A, the case is different. If these 2 point charges are separated in a medium, that is completely different. One more case. Suppose for example, this is another case. Some part is A, some part is medium. At the moment, how to take the force between them? What formula we have to take? So that topic we have to discuss. So let us see, if these two charges are separated in A, the force between them can be taken as F8 is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by r square, already you know. If the gap is filled with the medium whose relative permittivity is epsilon r and permittivity is epsilon, then you can take F medium is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by r square. If you want to replace this one, you can write like this, relative permittivity and permittivity free space. But the case is, third case, case 3 is different. What is the third case? If these two charges are separated, r distance as usual, but thing is that out of total distance, r distance is filled with the medium of thickness t. So how much with the air, r minus t distance with the air, t distance with the medium. So you cannot take either first case or second case. You must take in between them. So there is one equivalent distance you can take. Let us say the force between them is f dash 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Like air you can take. But problem is that it is not completely filled with the air. R minus t distance only filled with the medium. R minus t distance is filled with the medium, but this part is filled with the dielectric material. Therefore, you have to take an equivalent distance, relative permittivity. Understand? Relative permittivity. Like, understand? This is the case. If the gap is filled with the dielectric material of relative permittivity is epsilon or, you can take distance of A plus root epsilon naught or T whole square. Like that you can take So this is one of the most important exam point of view. I hope you can understand this one. Okay. Look at here, we are going to another area, that is vector representation of Coulomb's inverse square law. So why we should go for vector representation? My dear student, why we should take vector representation of Coulomb's inverse square law? The topic is vector representation of Coulomb's inverse square law. What necessary to give vector representation? Nothing actually. For what we are giving the inverse square law? Force. Force is a vector. It should be vector representation. Am I right or wrong? So, such a way we can go for two charges which are, see, look at here, Q1 is the charge, Q2 is the another charge, which are separated by certain distance. So, which are separated by certain distance, that is, let you say R1. This is nothing but position. This is the position of the second vector, second charge with respect to the first charge. This is the position of the second charge with respect to the first charge. Actually, this is at R1 position bar. This is R2 position. Understand? So therefore, from triangle laws of vector, what we can notice? So R1 bar plus R2 bar, R21 bar is equals to R2 bar. Two vectors, vector subdivision. Two vectors are taken as the sides of the triangle. The third vector is represented. So like that, anyhow you know very well. R21 bar is equals to R2 bar minus R1 bar. So let us see. So the distance between two charges can be represented in the form of vector like this. Understand? Anyhow. So what is the force on the second charge? That we can write as F21. Understand? We can take as F21. F21. Understand? Force on the second charge due to the first charge, F21 bar. So that can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R21 square. R21 square. So this is magnitude. So that if you want write in the form of vectors, F21 bar can be taken as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R21 cube into R21 bar. Sir, why? How can you take instead of inverse square law, why you take cube? There is a reason. This is a vector. Vector means it has magnitude and direction. We want direction. So since we are increasing the magnitude in numerator, we should increase in the denominator. Therefore, F21 bar can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R2 bar minus R1 bar magnitude cube into R2 bar minus R1 bar. And one interesting and important thing, you don't bother about these formulas in exam point of view. They will give you simple questions. Understand? You need not hang and you need not mad at these formulas. Understanding about some extent, these are important. That's enough. You need not get tension. Why, how these are things are happened. Don't worry. Just take simple formula. F21 is equal to F21 bar minus F1 bar. Since it is magnitude in numerator, denominator will be increased by 1. That's all. So I hope you can understand, you can remember this is a vector representation of force between two charges. Thank you. Now we enter into the application parts of Coulomb's inverse square law. So let us see one question. So nearby 20 questions we will do on Coulomb's inverse square law. We will do problem number 1. So So problem number 1 we have taken as a result. Two pendulums having charges Q1 and Q2. Two pendulums having charges Q1 and Q2 and masses M1 and M2 are suspended from the same point. Look at here. They are making at an angle θ1 and θ2. This is Q1, this is Q2. They are making an angle θ1 and θ2. Which of the following statement is correct? Some cases are given. So, before going to the cases, first we want to take the diagram for the given question. Two pendulums having the charges Q1 and Q2, masses M1, M2. Look at here, this is mass M1, this charge mass M2. Suspended from the same point. They are making an angle θ1 and θ2. First question, why they are making an angle θ? Why pendulums are not like this, not suspended like this? You know very well. If these are two charges, they are having the force F21, F12, so that they want to move away from each other. But while they want to move away from each other, their masses are acting, the weights are acting in downward direction. Understand or not? Their weights are acting in downward direction. This force is F21, this force is F12. Let us say total distance between them is x. This you can total distance you say x. This is x by 2. This is x by 2. This is the given structure for given question. Understand? These things we should assume total distance. Let us say x. This length is L. This length is L. Let us assume like this. At the moment, so these two forces are acting on the this bomb. Therefore, the resultant force is acting in this direction, which is opposed by this one. This is the tension. This is offered by tension. So these two resultant forces acting in this direction, that is R1. This is R2. Understand? So this opposite force is offered in the spring, that is called T1. This is T2. So if it is θ1, you can understand this is θ1, this is θ2. I hope you can understand. Okay. So for our convenience, you can write this is the vector we can write anywhere. For our convenience, we can write anywhere. Understand? So now you can take tan θ1. You can come to the point tan θ1. You can come to the point tan θ1 is equal to F12 by force on 1 due to 2 by its weight M1g, and tan θ2 F21 by M2g. You know very well, this is action and reaction pair, equal and opposite. So these two values will be same. Understand? So these two forces are same, therefore numerator is same for both of them. Only denominator, mass affects on the angle made by the pendulum. If mass is greater, the angle made by the pendulum, if mass is greater, the angle made by the pendulum will be lesser. If mass is lesser, right? So θ1 is greater than M1 is greater than M2. It is an inverse function. Therefore, θ1 less than θ2. That is also correct. If M1 is equals to M2, M1 is equals to M2, what we can say? θ1 is equals to θ2. This is one previous question. So try to understand. Two pendulums having charges Q1 and Q2 and masses M1 and M2, are suspended from the same point. They are making an angle θ1 and θ2 to the vertical. Which of the following case is correct? So these two pendulums Q1 Q2, their masses M1 and M2, so that their weights are in downward direction. Since the two charges are separated by certain distance, they are repulsion, they want to move, the force is offered between them in this direction, weight in this direction. If you take this charge, these two forces are acting in this direction, the resultant in this direction, that resultant is opposed by internal force in the spring, that is tension. So this resultant force of these two is equal to tension. Similarly, the resultant force of these two, that is equal to tension. So for this problem, we want relation between theta and m. So therefore you can take tan theta 1 f12 by m1g, tan theta 2 f21 by m2g. Therefore m1 greater than m2. If since it is these two are equal, f12 is equal to f21. So m1 if m1 greater than m2, then theta 1 less than theta 2. If m1 is equal to m2, theta 1 is equal to theta 2. I hope you can understand which are the cases. m1 greater than m2, theta 1 less than theta 2, and if m1 is equal to m2, theta 1 is equal to theta 2. This is the answer. So these two cases are correct, right? I think you can understand this case.